Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm having some fun. I'm playing some Historic Brawl with SYR, GWYN, Hero of Ashvale. I played a lot of ranked Historic last week, and now I am itching to get back into this Brawl queue because it's a whole lot of fun. I've been playing this deck with a friend of mine for the last couple of days, having a great time, hanging out on Discord, playing Brawl, just talking and having a good time. Highly recommend you do that with your friends if you have the opportunity, because it is some of the best Magic that I've played in recent memory. Don't take it too seriously. Maybe set some fun conditions, build decks together. It is super fun. So SYR GWYN does a lot. It is a 5/5 for 6 Mardu colors, human knight. It has vigilance and menace, and it says whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Then equipment you control has equip knight 0. So of course we're playing a whole bunch of equipment, we're playing a whole bunch of knights. In this column right here, in this column here, we are playing the best knights that I could possibly find to put in this deck. There are a lot of knights in Historic, but not all of them really meet the requirements that I want. A lot of them are a little bit too expensive, or their effects are not so great. Anyways, these are the ones I landed on. I think they're pretty good so far. And then also playing a bunch of equipment in this column right here. Again, not a whole lot of equipment that is super great in Historic, but there are some fun ones and there are some powerful ones. I think for the most part, things like Shadow Spear and Embercleave are going to be your money equipment cards. And surprisingly, things like Mirror Shield turn out to be pretty powerful when you can equip them for free on your SYR GWYN and keep that on the battlefield for quite a while. The rest of the deck is made up of utility things. We got a bunch of ramp over in this corner. Ambitious Farmhand, for example, gets us a plains, also serves as a human knight if I can flip it, and then your typical mana rocks and whatnot. Of course, every good Historic deck needs to have some removal, playing things like Ruinous Ultimatum, Cellar Wreckage, Bedevil, you know, the typical stuff you would expect to see in most Historic Mardu decks. And then to round out the deck, the last stuff is just a bunch of utility stuff that is going to buff our creatures, draw us cards, protect our creatures, and stuff like that. Overall, the deck is super fun to play. It seems to be pretty powerful. I've been tweaking it quite a bit as I play with my friend, going back and forth, trying out against various different strategies. This is where I'm at right now with it. Going to take it into the queue and see how it performs against other people. Looks like I am against a little bit of landfall, a little bit of ramp, probably, with Azusa, Lost but Seeking on the other side of the field. Opening hand is looking good for the early game. Have some good lands, have a little bit of ramp, and a little bit of removal with the Fateful Absence. No turn 1 play though, so I will go out with the Godless Shrine. And then next turn, I don't know if it's going to be the Farmhand or the Mindstone. We'll see what the opponent's up to. I think it's probably the Farmhand. So, Hive of the Eye Tyrant first. Go and get a Plains. And mana's looking pretty good now. 2 black sources, 1 red source coming down the pipeline, and plenty of mana to get me up to SYR GWYN in the near future by turn 5, I guess. If I ramp a little bit with Mindstone. I think with the Azusa, which I was kind of thinking they were going to do, I probably need to... Well, do I need to kill the Azusa? Maybe not. It's already done what it's going to do, putting extra lands on the field. So I think removing it now is not necessary. And instead, I'm just going to play out the Mindstone and I'm going to keep up Fateful Absence. Because I'm kind of thinking a turn 6 big bomb might be on its way. They do have the Ghost Quarter, which kind of sucks because it gets rid of my red source. I do have. Yeah, of course I have. So we'll go and get that. But by doing that, it cuts me off of the Fateful Absence. Crucible of Worlds, so it didn't really matter. I did need the red source, though. There was no way I could not get that. Crucible of Worlds lets them do this. This is real bad. Wow, facing off against some degenerate stuff. It looks like I might actually have to kill the Azusa. Wow, opponent, somebody hurt this opponent. Well, if this is the case, I'm going to put out the Paragon and trade this way. gain a little bit of life, get the Azusa off the field, save the Fateful Absence for something more threatening. Sure. So I suppose it's going to be Metallic Mimic into Danny. This will actually allow me to get the Coven ability on Ambitious Farmhand, which is a 3, transform it into the Seasoned Cathar, 3/3 with lifelink. I need to control creatures with 3 different power levels, which I now have 1, 2, 3. So they're using their mana to draw some cards. Sure. I think it's probably pretty safe to put SYR GWYN onto the field. Yeah. I don't think it's too threatening. They're playing mono green. They would need like a fight spell plus a big creature. Should be fine. Thankfully, my deck is packing a good number of basics, so they haven't run me out of lands quite yet. A little bit obnoxious that Ghost Quarter can destroy target land, not target non-basic land. So now they're going to do a lot of work destroying my land base, unless maybe they're not. Okay. That's 2 lands they've played this turn. They opt not to go for another one. Well, I'm going to flip my farmhand. And I'm going to go crashing in with a pretty good attack here. Unfortunately, no equipment. SYR GWYN, if something was equipped, I'd get to draw a card, lose a little bit of life, not a big deal, but... Wow. Oh, they could have blocked the Metallic Mimic. that was not intentional. I didn't mean to swing in with the old 2-1. All right. I think it's just going to be... No, we'll put this out, and then I'll hold up the Canyon. Maybe I'll cycle it away. We'll see. Getting really short on basics. Still, not too bad. What are the planes? And I still have the mana for Fateful Absence, as long as I leave that planes that just came in on... Really? This opponent is, like, borderline... bad things. Who's gonna play Ghost Quarter with Crucible Worlds and Ugin in this format? Really? Why? Why you gotta be like that? Why can't you just not be like that? 1 damage off lethal. No, I can't even cast out the Embercleave. Oh, I can cast out the Embercleave. Okay, well, here's the plan, I guess, is killing Ugin. And then putting out the SYR GWYN. Do I have enough? 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I do have enough. Sure. I probably shouldn't have put out the Sacred Foundry. That was a big mistake. Should have been the plains. Opponent. Just not my friend right now. What do I want to see off the top? I'm not even sure what would be the best thing. Banishing Light? Sure. Well, this is going to be an Ember-Cleaved Metallic Mimic. At least SYR GWYN traded with the Kolga. I am playing Kolaghan's Command, so maybe that might come at some point. I'm going to hold up the Fateful Absence. I think the opponent should never have stopped on their Ghost Quarter, destroy all my lands plan. Okay. Okay. That's super fine. Super fine. Who knew the counter to Ugin was Metallic Mimic? And a Metallic Mimic that shouldn't be on the field because they should have put the Azusa in front of the Metallic Mimic. I'm not sure what they were thinking, but count my lucky stars, I suppose. Okay, I'm going to go Banishing Light to eat the tree. Oh, that's a good win. Wow, what a game. Opponent's deck, not cool. Not a fan of anything they were doing. That is just trying to bully people out of having fun with their decks, I think. But hey, you do you. Play whatever you want to play. That's what you're going to do on Magic Arena. Keep going. More Knights. Chandra on the other side of the field this time around. So another mono-colored deck. Mono green in the first game, now mono red. Opening hand. If I can get up to 3, get out this Forging the Tyrite Sword, that's going to be some pretty good ramp. Yeah, we'll try it. What do I want to see turn? I just want to see land draws. Yeah, okay, perfect. So now we're cooking. This is going to have to go out on red. Yeah, I think I'm still going to put out the Metallic Mimic. I was thinking about putting out the Snarl. Ooh, no, Knight. But I think I'd rather get the Mimic on the field. If they have removal for it, they have removal for it. That's fine. 1 for 1. Sure. That's fine. Much better that they're using an Abrade on that than my Immortal Sun. Seasoned Pyromancer coming down for the opponent. They're definitely going to discard 2 cards. Let's see if they discard action or lands. 2 lands, a mountain and a Ramunap Ruins. So, going to be Forging the Tyrite Sword. Pretty cool card. Going to create a treasure on Saga, or what is it? Lore 1, Lore 2. Yep, and then on number 3, I can go and either get a Halvar or another equipment card. Tutoring for equipment cards, always good because there aren't many viable equipment cards in this deck, so have to go and get the one that matters. And there's the Shandi. I wonder if I just want to feed the Swarm. It doesn't matter, I can't feed the Swarm Chandra. Chandra's just going to be a problem. Nice. Good hits by the opponent. Okay. So that is going to go out, and then maybe just the Mind Stone. Try to go into big stuff later. I think I do want to put out the SYR GWYN, but I want to wait until my Forging gets my Mirror Shield. I want to have the Mirror Shield so I can immediately put that on SYR GWYN. Hexproof, I don't really have to worry about too much coming out of a mono red deck to kill a hexproof SYR GWYN, and then I can just load up the SYR GWYN with whatever other enchant or equipment that I managed to draw. They very wisely not murder, but Ugin my poor Tyrite Saga, so I can't go and get Mirror Shield now. Okay, time to draw with this. This will use one of my treasures. No, I don't want to do that. Sign in Blood. Sign in Blood. I think... Oh, I don't have many black sources. That's the problem here. Lots of black cards, not a lot of black sources. I guess it's just Immortal Sun. Turn off the Planeswalkers, because that's what that does. It's pretty neat. And I'll get a little bit of a discount going forward on stuff if it sticks around. They are playing mono red. Mono red usually has a fair amount of artifact destruction, but they already used their Abrade. That's a problem. That is 100% getting hit by Feed the Swarm. No doubt in my mind that that's happening. Now, this, and I'm getting a little bit low on life. Kind of thinking I want to put out Foulmire Knight with the Acclaimed Contender. Just get a few cards on the board and search for something here. Faceless Agent, pretty cool. More access to cards. In fact, I'll put it on the field. If they have a board wipe, they have a board wipe. If they hold off for a turn on the board wipe, this Guardian of Faith is going to be fantastic going forward. Cavalier. I can't get rid of the Cavalier very easily. Especially since Crippling Fear is... Huh. Alright, alright. I'll take the quick concede. I think they were in an okay position, but Immortal Sun shutting off their commander. Just a banging good time. Next ones. Alright. Really surprised to run into two mono green or mono colored decks right off the start. Our opponents... I might have to actually block that opponent's name. Yeah, hand looks great. Their name is actually... I'm gonna put something over that. It's their email account? Why would you do that? Huh. So, not going to be able to get this isolated chapel onto the field with the two cards that I have in hand, so I'm going to lead on it. It would have been nice to get the Shadow Spear out early, but I think I want to make sure to be able to get out the Stormfist Crusader on turn 2 and have good land drops following that. Next turn, Courtyard, and then go. Forgot to wave to the opponent. Danitha, pretty cool. So Danitha actually makes my Shadow Spear free. Who doesn't like a free Shadow Spear? Katilda, interesting commander. A lot of ramp coming out of that card, but you definitely need to lead on other things, like Speaker of the Heavens, I guess. Pretty good card. Deafening Clarion would be great if I could pump up the team just ever so slightly. Not going to happen. Unfortunately, Sword of the Realms only buffs the front end, not the back end of the card. So I suppose we're just going to keep their life total relatively low. I should have put that on the Stormfist Crusader. Now I'm looking at it, but I don't need to attack in with both. Danny has First Strike, Lifelink, and Trample, and Vigilance, all the keywords. I think I'm okay going out with this. I actually didn't need to play out the planes. I should have played out the Blood Crypt. Not playing so well right now. Okay, if things get out of hand, this Deafening Clarion might be what I'm looking at, but I think Danny can actually keep the fort held down pretty well. They have a ton of mana, though. They still have 5 mana open with Katilda's ability to tap creatures. Gemrazor, that's a problem. That's a real big problem. So now whenever Gemrazor mutates, they're going to be able to destroy one of my equipments. And it's a 4/4, so yuck. Cool thing, though. Blackblade Reforged, very powerful card, and I can actually equip it onto Danny for 3. Can't quite equip that, so I'll just put out the Blood Crypt, and then I'll go swinging in with the 7/7 First Striking, Life-Linking hero, Danitha. Too bad. But if I get up to 7 mana, I can equip the Blackblade onto the Stormfist Crusader and then start going in. I think an attack here from the opponent... Oh, it has Vigilance. Okay. So a little bit risky. I'm wondering if I should just bait... a Settle the Wreckage now. I think if I equip the Sword of the Realms, there's no way they're going to attack. But if I don't equip the Sword of the Realms, they know that something's up. I could attack in, and I don't think that they'd trade here. You know, I'm going to attack. Okay. Wow. Really surprised by that. It's so tempting to just Deafening Clarion everything away, but I think I need to go with the Settle the Wreckage. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh. Taxing. I hate taxes. Why? Why must taxes exist? Okay, Unnatural Growth. Oh, this Settle the Wreckage would have been so good here. All right. The Settle the Wreckage actually might work out well because they might be incentivized on the next turn to go in with the full attack. They're still hitting me for a good amount here. Part of me wants to put this in front of the Gem Razor. No, it would be in front of the speaker. Okay. I get it back to my hand. Pretty cool effect of Sword of the Realms. So they're going to return something to the field. What are they returning to the field next turn? They can only return the Speaker of the Heavens. Not a big deal. I don't want to telegraph the Settler Wreckage too much. I really got to get rid of this Gem Razor. Pretend I click through the turn instead of equipping the Sword of the Realms. Oh, I made a mistake. There's no way they're not going to attack all out. Opponent's smart, though. So. Distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures you control, where X is the amount of snow mana spent to cast this. Okay, so they're going to draw some cards and do that. I might be able to get a win next turn, though, if they attack with all 4 of these creatures, leaving only the Speaker of the Heavens back. I can equip the Black Blade, Reforge onto the Stormfist Crusader, and then go in. But they make the wise choice to put out this card. And now things are getting real sketch. Now my Deafening Clarion is useless. And I'm taking 20 damage here. I put this here. I take 18 damage. And then I bait them into a Settle the Wreckage. Okay. Okay, I'll put out the Basri Lieutenant. Pass the turn. It's got to work out. This Settle the Wreckage has to save me. I need Trample, though, to get over these little 1/1s. This has Vigilance. This doesn't have anything. Okay, we get the attack. Come on. Okay, good. I was afraid they were going to be very careful. Katilda and the token are going to be 3/3s. Deafening Clarion works for that. They're going to have follow-up, of course. They have tons of cards in hand. They have still 10 mana, something like that. Arcane Signet, good sign. That's not a creature. Cultivate, that's a good sign. It's not a creature. I'm still not going to have enough damage, though. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 mana. I use this. I have 6 remaining. Not enough for that. However, I'm so happy. This, I put. Oh, I wish they didn't scoop. I would have put out SYR GWYN and then got the free equipments and attacked in for lethal. Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Patience paying off. Wow. Couple more. Having a super fun time playing this Knight deck. I think it's just a great deck. Not the most powerful, that's for sure, but it's a fun deck. So pretty cool equipment spread here, but only planes and no creatures. So I think I do have to throw it away and find a hand that's a little sketchy. Turn 3 Forging of the Tyrite Sword is going to be pretty good if I can get up to that, though. I have a turn 2 with the Smitten Swordmaster. A little bit of removal with the Kolaghan's Command finally showing its face. Yeah, why not? Never forget to wave to your opponent. And they're playing Kaalia. Pretty neat. Oh, that's not good. Hopefully they don't understand how cool the forging of the Tyrite Sword is. Oh, no. All right, well, I get to put out Knight of Grace, though. That was a pretty good draw off the top. Kaalia, yeah, pretty neat. A little bit weaker than the older version of the card, but still cool nonetheless. Dream Devourer, you say? Okay. Well, real shame that I didn't find land there. Always a problem. Yeah. All right, just pass. I could have put out the Smitten Swordmaster, but I don't know. Hopefully they're struggling on lands as well. Pretty neat that we both have a black source and then a Boros source. Foretelling, pumping up their Dream Devourer ever so slightly. And I hit the land, so that's good, but not a whole lot of castables. Unfortunately, the Murderous Rider is not going to be online, and the Kolaghan's Command does not kill either of their creatures because it only does 2 damage. I think I'm still going to wait. Maybe they put out like an artifact. I can snipe that, deal 2 damage to their face, make them discard a card. Something like that. Another 3 toughness creature. That's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Okay. Not a terrible card. So I'm free to attack in here. If they double block, I kill the Varragoth. And I guess Midnight Reaper to the field. Varragoth, very cool card. If they decide to attack in, they can boast. And then target player searches their library for a card, shuffles, and puts that on the top of the library. So it's like a tutor, but tutor to the top of the deck. And on top of that, really cool art. What I'm assuming they're going to do is boast with Varragoth and then use Kaalia to look at the top cards. Maybe that's the combo that they're working on. They don't have enough to boast. I think I'm okay putting Varragoth, Midnight Reaper in front of Varragoth. I think Varragoth is probably a bigger problem, and I can maybe draw a land with the Midnight Reaper Death Trigger. I find a land. Great. I find 2 tap lands. Both of them are giving me black mana, though, which is very important. However, it's kind of important right now and not next turn. Let's put out the Scry land so I get to see what I'm putting to the bottom. All right. Well, I still have the Kolaghan's Command. Maybe they put out Platinum Angel or something like that. I don't know. They're down to 13, mind you. Seasoned Pyromancer. Hey, Kolaghan's Command can kill Seasoned Pyromancer. That's cool. They get rid of a Bladewing and a Plarg. Okay. Sure. This Knight of Grace might actually have to go all the way. What a champion. And they've just foretold a whole bunch of their cards. It would be really nice if I could have a Dranith Magistrate in the deck and stop all that from happening. Now, Kaalia does have Vigilance, so it's still on the field. I kind of want to attack in, see if they put a lot of things in front of the Knight of Grace, and maybe I can get like a little cheeky kill between Murderous Rider and Kolaghan's Command. Okay. That makes sense. Thinking I might want a Murderous Rider Kaalia. We'll see if... I don't think I want to let this attack again. Oh, it's only when it attacks, right? Enters the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards. Reveal an angel, demon, or a dragon or a dragon card from among them. Put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I don't remember them revealing anything, so... Oh, maybe they revealed the Faceless Agent. Big attack. I will murder the Kaalia. This is maybe not a good idea. They do have 5 mana open. They can play out the Kaalia again, go and get another thing. Maybe that was poor decision making. If they didn't have the 5 mana open, it would have been better, not a better play to do that. But with the 5 mana open, that was probably a misstep. They take 3 damage from that. Ooh. Burning Rune Demon. Okay, well, Murderous Rider should have been saved for a Burning Rune Demon. This one's cool. They get to go look for 2 cards of different names, and I get to pick one. The chosen card goes in the hand. The other one goes into the graveyard. So, this game continuing to look pretty rough. Yeah, those are... Yeah. I guess I'll put the Faithless Looting into hand, but they are reanimating something really cool this turn. And I don't think there's anything that I can really do about that. So is my best bet to Embercleave the Knight of Grace? I think so. Let's see if they put the demon. Okay. Let's get the Embercleave onto the field. I get to kill the Burning Rune Demon at the very least. Get a little bit of damage in, but that dies. I do get to put the Knight out, though. Embercleave, amazingly, only 3 to equip it, so... Knight of the Ebon Legion next turn, equip plus pump could be really cool. I believe that kills my Knight of the Ebon Legion, though. Cool. And now they're going to Burial Rites to get something strong. Oh, not this turn. Surprising. Oh, they do have enough mana. Okay. So, Burning Rune Demon returns, and I'm just continuing to be in a pretty bad spout. What can I do? Probably just take my beats. I deserve them. The last couple games have gone really well for me. Gotten lucky. It's about time this happens. This Knight deck is cool. Ooh. I guess it's this. Doesn't really matter which one. What was I saying? The Knight deck is really cool, but it is definitely on the casual level of things. So they do have the swords now. If I put out the SYR GWYN, they can do that. It does gain me a little bit of life, though. Okay. I'm doing it this way just to get a little bit of life. If they decide to swords my Murderous Rider, I will go up to 13. That'll be exiled. I don't know which one I want to get rid of. Kolaghan's Reach. Okay. They have the Elspeth. Okay. GG's. I was really counting on that life gain from the Swords of the Plowshares. Cool deck. Very neat deck. It's nice to see a Kaalia deck. It's considered, I think, quite underpowered compared to the old version. I'm sure I'll have it up on the screen at some point in this game. But they made it work. A couple more. Ooh, scary one on the other side of the field this time. Narset of the Ancient Ways. That card, I've talked about it before, always does crazy stuff. I think I'm going to keep this, though. Removal and ramp, along with Settle the Wreckage. Sure. So Narset, it just does so much. Gain life, ramps you a little bit, I guess, in a way. And then, I don't know. There are more lines of text on that card. Draw a card, then you may discard a card. When you discard a non-land card this way, Narset of the Ancient Ways deals damage equal to that card's mana value to target creature or planeswalker. That's the ability that always seems to bamboozle me. Somehow they always have the perfect costed card that will line up against my creatures and murder them right away. So Midnight Clock for the opponent. They're using that treasure. They are hurting on mana by the looks of things, so that is maybe good news. Do I want to go out with Danitha, or do I want to Chromatic Lantern into a SYR GWYN a little bit faster? I think probably ramp up. That'll be better. So next turn, 6 mana to their 3, because that is technically a mana rock. They might use the Strike It Rich flashback. They do, but they also shocked in the Seagate Reborn. Wonder why. So it's a little bit risky to put SYR GWYN out onto the field with no protection against a deck like this, but I think it's probably going to be okay because I'm hopeful. I'm a hopeful person, and I think everything will, of course, work out just fine for me until it doesn't when they have a tribunal. All right, so SYR GWYN now costs 8. That's fine. Hey, it's a Vorpal Sword. Vorp, Vorp. I guess it doesn't really matter because all of my lands tap for exactly what they tap for. I mean, so stupid. Chromatic Lantern. All of my lands tap for whatever I want them to tap for. Now, I put Vorpal Sword onto the field. Vorpal Sword has an awesome ability that I'm not going to get to use because they, like I said, this Narset always gets me. Never had a Narset not be able to do exactly what it does. All right, so I suppose I will murder the Narset, and I think probably getting the History of Benelia out onto the field will be an okay choice. I could go out with the Murderous Rider as well, but I think I'll go this way. I was saying about the Vorpal Sword, until the end of your turn, Vorpal Sword gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. 8 CMC. Though, a little expensive. Outlaw's Merriment. That's a cool card. All right, so a little unfortunate that next turn my Knights are going to be pumped up to 4 3s, meaning I can't exactly Deafening Clarion too freely. One of them will be a little bit bigger, though, because of this Vorpal Sword. Nope, never mind. It only buffs the front end. Shame. All right, let's get in for 4. Next turn, big buff from the History of Benelia. They will have a Merriment token on the field, a 2/1. But I can get rid of it with the Dire Tactics. Of course, they have the Fumigate. That's the other thing. I so rarely have History of Benelia work out the way you would imagine it working out, because they always seem to have the removal right before you want to do that. All right. I guess next turn it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's SYR GWYN onto the field. I can equip the Vorpal Sword for free. And, I don't know, maybe make something happen. They just drew it. All those cards, though. Yeah. Things are looking dicey. Hive of the Eye Tyrant might end up being a little bit of a hero at some point in this game. They are down to 4 mana. They've done a lot with limited resources. Good on the opponent. Surely they've found plenty of lands. So this says, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. Do I need to bedevil that? I can't bedevil that because it's not... it doesn't work that way. All right, I'll try putting SYR GWYN on the field. I'll equip the Vorpal Sword onto SYR GWYN and pray that they didn't find any kind of removal in that pile of cards that they just drew. Then, going forward, if they just load up the field with a bunch of blockers, Deafening Clarion can clear the way. Yeah, we'll see. I can't imagine GWYN surviving, though. Okay, they just used all their mana. Of course. Yeah, every time. It's like almost automatic removal. Of course, they had a 5. Yeah. It's so important in this deck to get Mirror Shield. Guardian of Faith, pretty cool. Oh, let's get rid of this.
Even masters make mistakes.
And I think I'll just hold off. Hive Tyrant is live right now? Yes, it is. That was me. I don't know if you noticed that. You picked up on that. That was just the slightest amount of annoyance just twinging in the side of my eye here. Yeah, this is pretty insane from the opponent. I could put out... Yeah, let's do this. They've already used the Chandra's thing, so I can freely block this 2-1. Should be okay. Yeah. What do I do against that Chandra? That Chandra is just going to destroy anything I put on the field. I can't get rid of it with any of my current removal. I could put out the Basri's Lieutenant and then Guardian of Faith, try to get lucky that way. But it's such a temporary solution. This Vorpal Sword could end the game, but it requires so much mana. Yeah. Oh wait, Basri's Lieutenant. I'll try to get a little bit cheeky with my Guardian of Faith if they decide to try to remove the Lieutenant. It does have protection from all of these clerics that it's making, or all these merriments. You don't see this too often. I am on fire, I should mention. Chandra is giving me emblems that are dealing now 1 damage to me every turn. Okay. That's interesting. Definitely be equipping the Vorpal Sword onto the Basri's Lieutenant. Trying to equip the Vorpal Sword onto the Basri's Lieutenant. It works. Fighter class, interesting. I can still hold up the Guardian of Faith if I do this. I don't like how it's tapping my mana, though. Let's do this and this. Because I still want to hold up the Guardian of Faith. Should have probably attacked already, but it's okay. Is it going to be Embercleave? Mirror Shield. What am I saying? Of course it's Mirror Shield. None of these can block my Basri's Lieutenant, which is kind of what I'm kind of thinking now. Maybe I can get away with a really cool Vorpal Sword kill if I can. I wonder if I should have equipped the Mirror Shield instead of using this. I'm relying on the Guardian of Faith to protect my Basri's Lieutenant. It was probably smarter to put out the Mirror Shield, just give the Basri's Lieutenant. It was definitely better to do it the other way. Oh, no. No, everything's coming apart. So what does this stupid thing say? When it enters the battlefield game for life, enchanted permanent can't attack or block or activate its abilities. I'm not a big fan of my opponent having all the answers to everything I'm doing. Am I just dead now? Because I'm taking 3 more damage. No, I have 1 more turn. So what do I need to find, like... Not that. Opponent. You're not fun. What can I do? What can I do about an enchantment? I need an enchantment destruction. I don't have any in my deck. Huh. Alright. What can I do? What can I do? I love losing to Merriment. Outlaw's Merriment is such a neat card. I do have an idea for that card going forward in the future. Maybe in a couple of weeks. We'll see. But I think I'll play one more. Alright. Mono blue to end things off by the looks of things. Started off well, and things have kind of come crashing down on me. I hope to pick things back up in this last game. Wave to the opponent. Wonder how many times I've gone first and gone second in these games. I wonder how much that affects things. It definitely affects, of course, all games of Magic. Opening hand looks okay. Triome into Command Tower into Cold Steel Heart. Into, who knows, maybe a little bit of card draw with Silent Blood, maybe a threat. See where my heart takes me. See if they have the turn 1 thoughts or Spell Pierce. I have black. I have all my colors in spades. I don't think it really matters. I'm going to put it out on white. That's not what I wanted to happen. I think I want to make my land drop, so I am going to use Sign in Blood. I do make my land drop, but it's not ideal. Maybe if I had a little bit more forethought, I would have put this on black, so I knew I could have got put out the Fervent Champion in the case that I missed my lands. Chromatic Lantern, pretty cool though. Surely a mono blue deck will start to have counter magic at some point. They don't. Okay. Well, Metallic Mimic to the field. Name Knight. And unless they're bouncing my stuff, should be good. I think I'm going to expect a whelming wave, I guess is what it's called. The one that bounces all like sea monsters back to hands. I'm sure that's in the cards at some point in this game. Okay, Deafening Clarion may be good at some point, but not right now. Go out with this, attack in with the Fervent Champion, start getting a little bit of damage on them. And then two pretty good attackers here if they don't put out something pretty beefy. If I do draw a land, I think I'm going to be incentivized to go Sword of Body and Mind, equip it to the Metallic Mimic. But Gadwick is here now, of course. So many tap lands. Okay. I'm attacking all because the Valiant Knight has a pretty cool ability to give... So annoyed by everything. So Gadwick, whenever you cast a blue spell, tap target non-land permanent. One thing I've definitely realized playing this Knight's deck is that there are a lot of ways that opponents can make things very annoying for people playing creature-oriented decks. Sure. I want to keep it around. I will pump up the Knights. Get 6 damage in with the Fervent Champion. Wish the Metallic Mimic had Trample, but not to be. And now it might be the case that they just tap down all of my creatures with this Gadwick. I hate the opponent. I hate the opponent so much. Oh, man. Well, I guess it might be time to just Sword of Body and Mind, get that protection from blue. A mono blue deck is going to have a pretty hard time dealing with protection from blue. I could just wipe the board now too. I don't hate it. It's a pretty good spot to do that. I do lose my Metallic Mimic, but at least I get rid of that. I really wish, well, I don't know, maybe that wasn't absolutely ideal because now they're going to have my 4/5 Valiant Knight to block. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure everything is just fine. Another equipment off the top would be really nice. Fervent Champion equipping at 3 less is pretty great. And I could put my Benelish Marshal out onto the field, pump it up to a 5/5, but it's still quite risky to attack in. If they bounce the Benelish Marshal... Nyx Lotus enters the battlefield, choose a color. No, Nyx enters the battlefield, tap. Then choose a color, add an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion. That's cool. So it's really, again, really risky to do what I'm thinking about. Is it just better to go in with the Cave of the Frost Dragon, maybe? Hope they tap out next turn. I could also go SYR GWYN. I'm going to go with SYR GWYN instead. Taking my Knight of the Valiant was really annoying. It's kind of what I was thinking, is they'll have some way of countering it. That's why I don't want to put out the Benelish Marshal too quickly. And I don't want to use this Smitten Swordmaster because I think Curry Favor might actually be a win condition for me at some point in this game. What is this thing? Enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Fun. Lots of people doing real fun things today. Noticed. They're gonna hold up a lot of mana. Nyx Lotus is cool in a Devotion deck. I think this is the first time I've actually seen this card. Or in a monocolored deck, I should say. Blast Zone was actually a really good card for them because they could have gotten rid of my Fervent Champion pretty easily with that. Now I could equip the sword onto the wolf. It doesn't do anything though. All right. It is Cave of the Frost Dragons beatdown time. Should have been last turn. Maybe they should be at 6 right now. Eyes rolled back in my head on that one. Counterspell and Time Warp and what was the other annoying thing? Oh, they're playing all the classics. Oh, Agent of Treachery is the one that really bothers me. So what is this thing? When it enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target instant or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. This is so obnoxious. Oh, mono blue players. The worst part is the fact that this Valiant Knight is actually the biggest problem. My Valiant Knight, if they... Oh, I should have... Okay. Well, they can counter the Paragon. I should have put the Paragon out to kill the Valiant Knight, though. That would have given me a lot more room to play around. They might get greedy here. They have so much mana. Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. They can't do anything to the Fervent Champion. Okay, okay. I might be able to get rid of the Valiant Knight here. Again, patience paying off. And now I have a Fervent Champion that is going to be an issue for them. They are taking another turn, though. And, oh, did they just lock me out of the game? Oh, they just locked me out of the game with this. Oh, opponent, you're... Who is this fun for? All right. All right. I'm good. I'm good. Let's go to a wrap-up. All right, so as far as this deck is concerned, it is pretty fun, but I will admit it is pretty weak. And I will also admit that I didn't have a whole lot of fun playing this deck in the Historic Brawl queue, mostly because I was running into strategies that were either very refined or playing very above curve cards. I was pretty strict with the creatures that I put into this deck, only knights that I kind of like as well. And I think you could definitely bump up the overall power level of this deck if you explored other creatures outside of the Knight Tribal requirement, but that's on you. I don't really want to be doing that with this deck. I like how it plays and what it's doing, but you're not going to have a whole lot of fun playing against, for example, Thassa Infinite Turns in the Historic Brawl queue. I did find a few good games, and I recorded a lot of them, thankfully, but a lot of them were just blowouts one way or another and didn't lead to much fun. Overall, I think the best time I had playing this deck was with my friend over on Discord. He was bringing decks that weren't super powerful either. And in that environment, you have the most laughs, you have the most enjoyment. So I highly recommend finding someone who has a similar building style to you and exploring Brawl with them. Maybe set some fun rules. For example, we're both building decks that are playing no removal right now. I'm going to probably play those tonight or tomorrow. I don't know how that's going to go, but you know, it's a fun little idea that you can explore, and I'm sure it's going to lead to some interesting things. If you want to build top tier Brawl decks, you can certainly do that. I'm sure that a lot of people enjoy doing that, and there's a lot of fun from doing that. But in my experience so far with Brawl, the most fun that I think I've had with this is when the decks are at a 5 or 6 power level, not a 10, and both people are just doing what they're doing and silly things are happening. That's the essence of Brawl, in my opinion. So thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you're still here, let me know what you think about that. And if you have some pretty cool Brawl suggestions, please let me know. I'm always interested to hear those. Take care for now, and I'll see you in the next video.